I never thought the day would come. I've been gaming since 1984. It's 2 years old. It's a good time. As time went on, we've had disappointing video game movie adaptation after disappointing video game movie adaptation. But now, I think it's safe to say, Sega Cinematic Universe. I had a really fun time in this movie. Lots of fun.
Hey, at least you won't be the only fun guy.
No, don't ever do that again. Jeff Fowler's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sega!
Wow. That's how it's going to be. You go to the Shire, look for a YouTube partner, and this is what they give you.
You didn't look for me. I just came out of the woodwork.
Looking on an adventure.
I'm going on an adventure!
We'll get there, that movie, one day. Don't worry. But anyway, Sonic the Hedgehog.
I'm Chloe Baggins.
And I am Bushido.
Bushido.
Yeah, Bushido. That's Mr. Bushido to you. So, what did we think? What did you think?
Well, Sonic came out in February of this year, 2020, and it was the last movie we saw before quarantine happened.
Yeah, and it was a good time, man. It was a nice, just unexpected surprise going to that movie theater. Just because, leading up to the release date of the movie, the big controversy with this film was Sonic's original humanoid
Space creature-esque.
nightmare fuel design.
He did not look like what you would imagine Sonic to look like. Like if he came out of a video game from the cartoon and then
into our world. What would he look like moving around? And it was just a mess. And we have to give Jeff Fowler, the director of this movie, lots and lots of respect and credit. As kids of the 80s and 90s, a lot of Hollywood directors would just be like, oh, this is my vision. I'm going to do whatever I want. Who the hell are you guys? We're just the fans that grew up with it. He was like, wow, you know what? You're right. I'm going to stop. We're going to take some time and some money, and we're going to redo this and do this right. And so really good props on him.
Good job, Jeff Fowler. Jeff Fowler has never really done a whole lot. His resume doesn't really have much beyond animation for a few other films. He worked on Where the Wild Things Are in the visual effects department. But this is his first full-length feature film working on Sonic. And he's actually going to be doing the second Sonic.
Yeah,
doing
Sega Cinematic Universe, man. It's going to be a good time.
Talk about the mushrooms.
Oh, before we get into the entire film and what we thought, I have to say, I know they just kind of alluded to this, other universe, other planet where it's a mushroom planet. And I'm just kind of thinking, in my nerd brain, I'm like, geez, a mushroom planet. Sonic is now with Mario. Is that kind of like a little nudge and a push to Nintendo saying, hey, we did this character justice. Here's a mushroom planet, which could be the Mushroom Kingdom, I mean, who knows? Who knows what this, game cinematic universe will spread into, but I thought that was really cool.
As somebody who grew up with the first Nintendo Entertainment System, I would absolutely lose my shit.
Yeah.
If I saw even in the next film, if they had in the ending credits, just a little, just Mario mushroom just floating across the screen, I would be that person.
Or it shows Jim Carrey's Robotnik. He comes across an egg. The egg hatches. Here's a little baby Yoshi. Yeah, little baby Yoshi, and then boom, fade to black. The entire movie theater would just explode like they did when Tails came out at the mid-credits scene.
That was fantastic.
That was a good time, man. Everybody just started screaming. And that was a really good indication that everybody in that packed theater really had a good time. And I think that's the coolest thing about this movie is that it is a genuine good time.
So you can usually tell a good movie if I cry in it, because that means it got me in the feels.
And the feels.
In the feels. And I cried. I think probably one of the best parts was towards the end of the movie when Sonic, without spoiling too much, gets to have his family, so to speak.
Yeah.
And they bring all his stuff in, and he's looking around in the attic, and he finally finds his best friend in
the Donut Lord.
Yep.
Or as I would like to call him, as I had met him, Cyclops. That's Cyclops. I mean, I know it's James Marsden and he's done other things, but it's like, bro, I met you as Cyclops. You're Cyclops. Yeah.
So,
but I think that, the movie just had a lot of heart. I think the success of the movie hinged on the audience's ability to really connect and cheer for Sonic the moment you meet him. And they did such a good job. It's like, how do you imagine the 16-bit character? How would he act? What would his emotions be? And he's, what our imaginations told us back in the day of how he would act or sound or talk. They did a good job of capturing that in this movie. He's just this excited, fun-loving, genuine-hearted person in the form of an anthropomorphic hedgehog with superpowers. That just wants to have a family. He wants to be loved. He wants to have friends. He wants to play baseball.
And it's hard not to love him.
Yeah, you're cheering for him the whole time. He was, when he was on Earth in Green Hills, not Green Hills Zone, but Green Hills Town, he had to be kept in hiding. He was kind of like the stalker ninja of the town, People saw him. The creepy old man was like, oh, I saw him, but he's not really there.
The Blue Devil.
The Blue Devil. But all he really wanted to do was to just, watch Speed with Cyclops and Pretzel Lady, Yeah, I think, and that's really where I think that got me was, man, I really feel for this guy. I'm really cheering for him. And I had to kind of look at it from, if I was Cyclops in the movie, if I had to go on a road trip to help Sonic out, would I have a good time with the Sonic that they gave us on screen? I'd have a great time. Like, holy shit, this is my new best friend. Where do you want to go out to San Francisco? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Let's go somewhere else. So that, for me, that's how I was able to really enjoy the movie was, if it was me and Sonic, the way that Sonic was, would I have a good time? And I had a great time.
I had a great time. I didn't want the movie to end, honestly. I would have sat through the Infinity War version of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh yeah,
I was so enthralled in just what the universe that they were able to create. And I thought Ben Schwartz did a good job for the voice.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
However, I was hoping that Jaleel White would would come back essentially and do the voice, because I really loved Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon in the 90s.
And clearly it meant a lot to a lot of people, because here we are now talking about the movie,
Absolutely. And a second one.
And a second one coming, and I think, and we cannot do this review without talking about the very fantastic, amazing Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik in this movie. What did you think of his performance?
I think Jim Carrey in this, it made me feel like I was a kid in the 90s all over again, watching Ace Ventura.
Yeah!
It was like Ace Ventura and this really high IQ person came and had Dr. Robotnik as a baby.
It's like old school vintage, like Super Saiyan level Jim Carrey. Just, they're like, hey man, you're the legend, here's the character, now do your thing. Do your thing and we're good. And man, you can just tell he loved this kid. Like, he really made it his own. Like, as a kid playing the game, we never imagined, who would play Dr. Robotnik.
He did a fantastic job. There's actually a behind-the-scenes look at Jim Carrey taking on the role of Dr. Robotnik, and I think it really added to it, because it really gave his perspective of how he imagined Dr. Robotnik to be just this wounded soul who was just kind of rejected in life, and so it kind of gave him motives as to why he was such a bad guy.
Yeah, it's why, hey, be good to the nerds, man, because 1,000 times out of 100, you're going to work for one. He did such an amazing job bringing his version of Dr. Robotnik to life. I'm kind of like, gosh, I can't imagine anyone else being Dr. Robotnik. And that's awesome. You can just tell that everybody involved really had a lot of love for the property, for the character of Sonic, love for the fans. You know, how many times do fans get kind of, you know, they kind of get taken for granted and they're not really paid attention to it. Here's a movie where they're like, wow, we got to do it right for the fans because it's us, the fans, that keeps all this stuff alive. Props to everybody involved for bringing this to life for all of us, because I love this movie.
So how do you feel about the end part after he gets to the Mushroom Land and he's like video game Dr. Robotnik?
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Like the big revelation is like, oh, he's like shaving his head. He's got his red suit on. His mustache got all like even more evil, you know, super villain. And it's like, oh my God, dude, you, aside from being like, you know, on the huskier side, not being on the huskier side, size H, you know, it's like, wow, there's Dr. Robotnik. And it's like his technology in the movie kind of gives hints as to like, you know, what's he going to come up with next now that he's on an alien planet? Maybe the area he's in the mushroom area is just, it's deserted, but maybe on another part that he's going towards, he finds alien technology. If he made that kind of tech with Earth technology, what the hell is he going to make with alien tech?
Well, he still has Sonic's quill, so...
He still has the quill, yeah.
It's going to be very interesting to see in the second one.
Very nice job at world building and kind of just throwing hints, you know, without, you know, being too, like, you know... In your face about it, yeah. They did a good job, man. I really love this movie.
It unfolded in a natural sequence of events. However... It wasn't like it was just automatically like you're unrolling a roll of paper towels, you know. It had to happen. So let's just throw it in.
Squeeze it in, get the money grab.
The red sneakers, you know.
Yeah, the red sneakers. There was a lot of emotion about it. Yeah. It's like because through the movie, you're like, damn, dude, how are those like ratty hobo sneakers like still held together with how fast you go?
I know.
It's like you feel bad for the guy, and then he makes a friend and. You know, Pretzel Lady's niece. That's cool how they made that emotional and.
I bet Sonic and I wear the same shoe size.
Probably. what size do hobbits wear anyway? But anyway, so out of in terms of our rating scale,
I think this movie was fantastic. I probably would say it's one of the best video game stories brought to life. Don't get me wrong, I loved the Mario Brothers 90s movie I loved it, but this one is by far even better because it was beautiful, and you know the intro is just amazing.
Yeah.
It just really grabbed your attention straight from the beginning. It's hard not to fall in love with Sonic. You know, I love child and infant characters, so the fact that they gave baby Sonic, you know, it just really melted my heart. So I think this one is probably 9 out of 10 Bagginses for me.
9 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's really cool, man. So you can't look at this film through the lens of trying to analyze the Dark Knight trilogy or, you know, the Lord of the Rings or something, you know, or the many layers of Inception. You know, it's not that kind of film. It's like, this movie, did you have a good time? Had a great time. Did they do the character and the franchise justice and bring it to life for the first time? Absolutely. Did I imagine myself as Cyclops being with my buddy Sonic on this epic road trip? Hell yes. So for me, I would give this movie 8 out of 10 Bagginses. And why is it 8? Because for me personally, I could have used another half hour of more action and fun times with Sonic. Even though the movie was the appropriate length, I get caught up in the world that they build up, and I like staying there a little bit longer. So for me, 8 out of 10 Bagginses.
It means we liked it.
I love this movie. I you know, when the time is right with the world, I can't wait to see what they do for the second one.
Absolutely. I'm very much looking forward to the second one. So thank you for watching our video. If you made it this far, hashtag Sonic Baggins.
Sonic Baggins.
So let us know what you think and like us, subscribe to us.
Please take care of yourself. Be good to yourself, be good to those around you, and always, no matter what, be excellent
And
to each other
Wakanda forever
and ever.